Medrash Eicha Rabati, the first parak, begins Eicha Yashva. Megillas Eicha was given with, starts with the word, begins with the word Eicha. Says the Medrash, not just Megillas Eicha. Shloisha nis avu b'loshen Eicha. There were three that gave prophecy. There were misnave with the word Eicha. Moshe, Yeshaya v'Yirmiyah. Moshe just recently reread it in the Torah, in the Parsha. Eicha esa levadi. How can I bear all alone the burden of this nation? Yeshaya said Eicha, as we read also in the Haftarah of last week's Parsha. Eicha haisa lezoina. Oy, how has this nation become like a whore, a harlot, if you want proper English. Yirmiyah amad Eicha yoshva vadad. You're too much of an owl for Moshe Rabbeinu. You acted like a harlot. For Yeshaya, what's left? To sit in destitution as a nation. Amr of Levi. Rav Levi says there's three places in the Torah that we find the use of the word Eicha. Is in Moshe as a parable. A woman who had three servants at her disposal. One who saw her in the time of the time of good, time of serenity, time when there was no problems. And one of them, she only knew her in that period of time when bad things were happening, not when she was doing things wrong. And one of these servants who only knew her during the period of time in her life when she was decimated. Moshe Rabbeinu bore witness to Klal Yisrael in their most respected period and the time of Shalvosam, of the serenity. And he said, you have everything going for you now. Why do you have so many stupid complaints? The man is like this, the Slav is like this. You're eating man, you have complaints. Hello? You're living in a desert. You're drinking water that came out of a flint stone. The driest of rocks, if I might add. Okay? If it was wet, it wouldn't make sparks. Its moisture was so high, it wouldn't make sparks so easily. Okay? You guys are such a pain. You're always looking for what to complain about. Come on. Yeshaya saw them when they were doing everything wrong. You became like a whore, a harlot. Yirmiyah, in his period of time, when on his watch, he saw them. Yirmiyah saw Klal Yisrael in the time of in our worst period, we were decimated. The Omar Eicha Yoshva Vadad, oy, how such a wonderful, powerful nation sits destitute. Shalus ben Azai, the Talmidim asked the Rebbe ben Azai, Omar le Rabbeinu, Rebbe, tell us, Drosh lanu daro echem Megillas Kinois, give us something in Torah drosha from Megillas Kinois. This is how they refer to Megillas Eicha. Omar lehem told them, Lo Gol Yisrael, Kaisa were kicked out, were destroyed, sent into Golus. Ad shekafru b'chudoi shel olam, until the point came when they ceased to believe b'chudoi shel olam, in the Rebbeinu Shalom, that is Echad Yochad Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. They earnestly started connecting to Avodah Gezorah and thinking that is a power that Chalila created something in this universe. And they weren't kicked out until they were koifer b'mila shenosna lechav deirais, in the bris milah that's given to every Jewish boy and male, every Jewish male, was given after 20 generations. The Aseres HaDibros, the 10 Commandments, the Hei Sifrei Torah, and the 5 Sifrei Torah. Where do I get this from? Minyan Eicha. Aleph, Yechudash Loilam. Yud, Aseres HaDibros. Chof, Milah given in 20 generations. Hey, Chamisha Chumashei Torah. Only when those 4 things, only when we left those 4 things, and we're left ourselves bereft of those chuyos, of those mitzvahs, only then we're kicked into Golus. Amar of Levi said, we didn't want to kicked out so easily. I have another count. Lo yigoli Yisrael ad shekafru belamed vav krisa shebat Torah. Klal Yisrael weren't sent into Golus until after we were koifer. We didn't even believe in the existence of 36 different averos that the Isser on them is an Isser Kares. Person's cut off from the Jewish nations. Got no chelik in it. The Yud Aseres HaDibros and the 10 Commandments, and that's how he did the math out of Minyan Eicha. Aleph Yud Chof Hey. Gematria, not the Rosh Hashanah, Gematria. 36 is Yud Chof. Aleph Chof Hey is the 20. Is 20. Eicha is the 36 krisos, and the Aseres HaDibros. We can have the next word of Yoshva Vodot. The Yud of the first word. Rav Beracha b'shem Rav Dimi de Min Chaifa. Rav Beracha said in the name of Rav Dimi de Min Chaifa of the Ir Chaifa. He's still buried in Chaifa, right off of the main street, next to the docks over there, where the wheat plant is, flower plant, wheat plant, whatever it's called. He says, "Mashal lemelach shayaloi ben bizman shayso tzayna shalav v'haya malbisha bigde." Miltin, we don't change the side of Malbisha Big Day Badod. Marshal Amad Avadaima to a king who has a son. When he behaves well, he gives him the finest of royal clothing, and when he does everything wrong, he changes the wardrobe of his son. Malbisha Big Day Badod, and he puts on him the clothes of a wanderer. Kach Yisrael, so it is with Klal Yisrael. So long as they did Ratan Hashem, it says by us in Yechezkel, give you the finest of embroiderments. And we're not. Yep. And when you misbehave, I'll give you the clothes of a wanderer. Says the Medrash, after the Rebbeinu Shalom destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, Amar of Nachman, Amar Shmuel, Mishum Yeshua ben Levi, they all said in the name of Yeshua ben Levi, after the Rebbeinu Shalom destroyed the Beis HaMikdash, Kala HaKadosh Baruch Hu L'malachei HaSharetz, he called the angels of the heaven, all the angels in Shemayim, V'Amar Lahem, he asked them, Melech Bosav Adam, Shemeis Loi Meis, when a human, when a king of flesh and blood, is mourning. Umisavel madal kalasois. How does he mourn? How does he mourn when the body of a close one, of a relative, is before him? Instead of an ornate rug decorating the walls of his palace, he hangs sackcloth. Yeah, sacks. They used to, for potato bags once upon a time. Cheapest and toughest of easily available cloth. Instead of the ornate rugs. I'll also do as such. As the Pasuk says in the Shayal, Shamayim Kederos Vesok Awesome Ksusam. I will cover the heavens with sackcloth in a sign of mourning. Said the Rabbi Shalom, he asked the Malachi Ashoris, Melech Basav Adam Madal Kalas, is what more does this king of flesh and blood do in his mourning? Amru Loi, said the Malachi Ashoris, Mechabes Apanasim, he dims the lights, as we also do in the shuls, lighting the lamps. Amar Lehem, said the Rabbi Shalom, Kachani Oise, I'll do as such. Shenemar Shemesh ve'Yarech Kadru ve'Kechavim Osru Nogam. The sun and thus the moon dimmed, and the stars gathered their lights. Melech Basav Adam Adar Kalasais, said the Rabbi Shalom, what more does the king of flesh and blood do? Said the Malachi Ashoris, Koifes Amitois, he turns over the beds. He can't sit on his king-sized mattress with the tapestries and all, and a triple mattress and who knows what else. He flips it over, collapses on the floor, and sleeps on something. As the pasuk says, I'll do the same. The pasuk says, Ad dechsun ramya va'otik yom yosef kaviyachol shayafuchim. Tik yoimin remes to Rabbi Shalom, that dag of kedusha was keilo on upturned beds, mattress thrown over. Melech Basav Adam Madal Kalasa is what more, says asked the Rabbi Shalom the Malachim, what more does the king of flesh and blood do in mourning? Said the Malachim, Holich Yocheh, if he goes barefoot. Said the Rabbi Shalom, Kachani Oise, and so do we do on Tisha B'av. Shenemar Havaya Besufa V'Savai Dalchoi, Hashem tread his way in storm in the storm, ve'onon avak raglov, and the clouds were as the dust on his feet. Aviyachol. Melech Basav Adam Adar Kalasois, said asked the Rebbeinu Shalom the Malachim, what more does a king of flesh and blood do? Mevaza Pulfira Shaloi, his appearance, his mevaza, his appearance, he roughs up his appearance. Kachani Oise, Rabbi Shalom, I'll do it too. Dechsiv Osa Hashem Asher Zama Bitza Im Rasai. Yaakov Dechva Hanan Mefarashlei, he explains this pasuk, Ma Bitza Im Rasai, what does it mean Bitza Im Rasai? Hashem mevaza Pulfiros Shaloi, he disgraces his appearance. Melech Basav Adam, said to the Rebbeinu Shalom, what more does a king of flesh and blood do? Madar Kalasais, said the Malachim, Yoshev v'Doimim, he sits in his misery in silence. Said the Rebbeinu Shalom, Kachani Oiseh, Shenemar Yoshev Bodo v'Yidoim, the Rebbeinu Shalom sat Kaviyachol, silence and solitude. What more, said the Rebbeinu Shalom, Melech Basav Adam Madal Kalasa, is what more does a king of flesh and blood do in mourning? Said the Malachim Yoshev u'Boiche, he sits and cries. Said the Rebbeinu Shalom, Klal Yisrael, you're scattered all over the world, all over the world. You have no Beis Hamikdash, you have no Navi, you have no Melech Yisrael. Kachani Oiseh, I'm also going to sit and cry. And the pasuk says, "Vayikra havaya lekibin tzavakos v'yoyim ahu levichi ulemisped ulekolcha." The Rebbeinu Shalom called upon that day. It'll be a day of mourning, crying, and tearing kriya. Continues the Medrash. Evchama Baruch says on the pasuk, "Hoysel ka'almono," Medrash Rabba, Perek Aleph, Parashat Gimel. What does the pasuk mean? That Eretz Yisrael Hoysel ka'almono. Evchama Baruch von the Rabbana, and each one give a different pirush. Evchama Baruch says, the almana shahoysa tevas v'zayneseha v'lo hoysa tevas ksuvasa. It is like a widow who is entitled up yalacha kolod that she doesn't collect her ksuba, she doesn't collect the ksuba that her husband wrote for her under the chuppah before he went under the chuppah. As long as she doesn't collect it, she's entitled to continue living in his home and eating from his inheritance as his widow. If she collects her ksuba, goodbye. She got her money, she now could set herself up. So it's so with someone who doesn't want, she's an almana, she's like an almana, she doesn't want her ksuba to be out, to take her ksuba and go out the door. She wants to stay in the destroyed home even without her husband. So even out the base of Mikdash, without the Rebbeinu Shalom, so keenly, so openly. We don't want out. Give us mizonos, give us some alimony. It's called. Rabbanan Amri, the Rabbanan say, what does mean Hozik Almono? Marshal Melech Shekas Al Matur. It's like it's like a king who was angry at his wife. Ve'kosav Lagita, and he wrote her get. He gave it to her. And while she's holding her get in her hand, given to her in front of kosher witnesses, written for her al pidin, she's divorced. He grabbed it from her. Omad v'chotva mimena. She's divorced, but she has no get to prove it. No get to prove it. She can't sue him for her ksuba. The Edim aren't helping in this case. And whenever she found herself someone good, she wanted to restart her life with somebody else. Yes, if Kaiso wanted to start up with somebody else and say, this is the new Judaism, this is the new nation of Israel. At that time, the king would tell his wife, oh, you want to get remarried? Where's your get? You have no get. Because when I said Tavas was going to sell, and when she'll say, oh yeah, well, I need money. Need money? What do I have to do with you? I'm not giving you money. I'm not married to you. I don't owe you nothing. I already divorced you. What do you want from me? In truth, there's a mitzvah kadima staka. If she's stuck ad kedekach with no funds, and she's right to get staka, so he should be supporting his divorcee. In any case, every time the Klal Yisrael strayed from the path and he wanted and he starts serving celestial beings, idolatry. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, oh, now you want stuff from me also? This is what you do. Here's your get. Because and then occasionally they would come back and say, okay, Dash is not working. I need a nace, I need a refuah, I need a Yeshua. Give me nisim like once upon a time when we were on good terms. I already kicked you out. Says the Medrash, I have a third meaning for the pasuk. That Eretz Yisrael was like a widow. Each give another two meanings. The pasuk doesn't say she wasn't almana. She was like an almana. She wasn't almana from the 10 shvatim we lost already long before the Churban Bayis. We lost them. We only had 2 shvatim left in the territorial lands of Eretz Yisrael, and those were Shevet Yehuda. Rabbanan Amri almana ve'elu ve'elu v'lo me'akadosh Baruch Hu. To be an almana for real would be that you're an almana from the shift Israel. The land of Israel is an almana from Yidden of all Yud Bei Shvatim and from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But because HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't fully leave us. He didn't leave us, even one person goes. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't fully leave Eretz Yisrael and didn't fully leave Klal Yisrael. It's only Ki Almana, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu it still has. As the pasuk itself proclaims, we were never fully in Almana. Continues the Psukim in Eicha Rabati Bagoyim. We used to be a nation who were great among all nations of the world, viewed in high regard and high esteem. How high? Well, let's go back in history. Says the Medrash, Rabasi Bagoyim, it already said Rabasi Am, that we were a lot of people. We had a tremendous populace in the time of the Churban Bayis. So what is the additional meaning of Rabasi Bagoyim, great among the nations? It must not be in our populace, and it must be what we were worth. Uma Tamloim Rabasi Bagoyim and Rabasi Badeyas, we had tremendous knowledge and tremendous insight. The Jewish mind, what we have now is nothing compared to that. Rehuda B'Shem Rav Yaisi, Rehuda said in his name, when the citizens of Yerushalayim would go abroad, they would put him on a throne, on a stage, so he could simply speak, to hear his wisdom.